Welcome in, sorcerers. You may notice that there is a brand new playmat staring at you, and that is because, I went to a Cornerstone event recently, and we're going to give a little bit of a tournament report. And I did pretty well. So I want to go through a couple of different steps for this tournament report. We have them listed out here on the notepad. We're going to do this in a couple of different ways. I think I'm going to show some graphics on the computer. We're going to go through the deck by hand just to have, because I have it with me right now. I'll also have a computer version on Curiosa that I can give you a link to in the description below. Archimagoo is what I played, is a modified version of the deck I traditionally play, and maybe I have a deck list already that you've seen from previous videos. The event was a Cornerstone event here in Asheville at the Tokyo Toy Box. It had 18 players, and I managed to squeak in somehow into the bottom of the top 8. I went 2-2 in the Swiss rounds. It was only 4 Swiss rounds, but because of the quality of opponents that I played, pretty much all of them did really, really well in the tournament, and the 2 opponents that I lost to wound up being basically some of the top players in the tournament. I managed 2 players that went 2-2 managed to squeak into the bottom of the top 8, and I was one of them. And so I wanted to talk about my experiences with the deck, what I would do differently, should I do it again, and at the end of it, I also want to talk to you about one of my favorite decks from the tournament, which happened to be from a local Asheville, North Carolina player named Nicholas, who is going to be going to Avatar of the Realm for Sorcery, and also is going to be, I think, going to Sorcery Con 4 as well. So I think a player to watch out for, because he's also a pretty highly ranked Flesh and Blood player from the North Carolina area. So good player, and I played against him twice in the tournament, once in the top 8 and once in the Swiss rounds, and he whooped up on me both times with his witch list. And I would love to get him on the channel to interview him about his witch list. It was really fun, actually, to play against him, and so we'll show a picture from that non-game that we had in the first round of the top 8. He had a really funny opening. But without further ado, I think let's go ahead and break down the deck list that I brought. I made some changes to it the morning of the tournament, which is never, ever recommended. But of course, I was feeling a little anxious before the tournament. We had just gotten courts in. And so obviously we had just learned maybe about a month ago that we were going to get these new courts, the courts of equity, the courts of, whatever they are. Let's look at them. So I got my new courts in from the Dust Rewards store in Sorcery World. And I was like, well, I want to play these courts. So we got the Court of Equity in. Elite spells cost an additional 1 to cast, and uniques cost an extra 2. And I thought to myself, Archimago may be able to play these, because Archimago runs a lot of spells that are ordinary and exceptional spells. So I thought maybe I can get away with that. And so I also ran my mobbed courts. Mobbed courts cause players to lose 1 life when they cast an elite spell, and then 2 for uniques. So I ran both. I ran all 4, and I thought, okay, let me try this in the tournament as an experiment. Here are my thoughts on the courts. I think that it's a very mixed bag. I think that it actually hurts Archimago quite a bit. There were certainly games where I was able to hinder my opponent from casting their bigger spells, maybe 1 or 2 rounds. But I noticed there were times where, 1, I was going to put myself on death's door by casting things like Craterize. And I wasn't able to, or even by casting things like Earthquake. And I had one of these courts out, and I was low on life, and I wasn't able to do that. And that really hindered me in my game plan. And if my divine healings weren't popping up, then these cards hindered me quite a bit. Archimago plays a little bit fast and loose with its life if it doesn't have its divine healings out. So, or like Gargantula, things like that are pretty important to sort of stabilizing. Like you take a lot of damage early on from these aggressive decks, and it's important to be able to get to stabilize. And cards like this one, where elite spells cost 1 extra, sometimes hindered me. So I don't know if I should run the courts. That's my verdict so far. If you've had experiences that are different, I think you'd have to dramatically alter the build of Archimago to do so. I did take out elites from my deck list, and so we'll look at that right now. So currently, in my Archimago build, what I'm running is, go through it. We have some ordinaries because we run 4 common sense. So we have ordinary spells. We have sort of a toolboxy effect. We have 1 smite, 1 bury, barrow target minion or artifact if able. That's some of our toolboxy stuff. Then we have 2 onslaughts in the main exceptional magic. This allows us to kind of pump up our border militias to give them +1 and charge. Onslaughts were incredible in the tournament. We'll talk about that as I go through game by game. To talk about the wins that I had, I ran 2 guards. This was one of the changes I made late in the morning. I added an additional guards. This card is a great kill spell. If you can move your Archimago up 1 space from the back row, you can usually get 9 different soldier tokens out with just 6 mana. But again, remember those courts. Sometimes this will cost you 1 extra, or it will do damage to you because it's an elite magic spell. That can be a hindrance. 2 earthquakes to kind of move things around. This is a late addition, and I really love this in the deck because I do run fire in this deck, maybe a little bit more than the average Archimago list. Infiltrate was very powerful for me in the game. I would take over Gargantulas. I took over, certain void minions in one particular instance it was very handy. Infiltrate was very helpful for me throughout the game, just to take out certain minions that were really annoying. Another super awesome spell for toolbox effects, and this did help me take out an Omphalos early in a game. I common sensed for a Dispel. Very useful to have this in your main deck so you can destroy all auras and artifacts target location 2 steps away. Being able to take out that Omphalos early in a game, I think allowed me to win a game against a fellow Archimago player before they got too much card advantage. Paladins of Baja, I didn't get a chance to play too much of, but they are a spellcaster with Ward, pretty powerful creature. I put in a lone Pudge Butcher into the deck, and it actually almost won me a game in the first round against Witch versus Nicholas. It was kind of a surprise factor, and it did create some problems for Nicholas as he had me on death's door, but was trying to take me out, and it was doing some work. An Onyx Core. I put this back into the deck. The possibility of playing turn 1 Onyx Core, turn 2 landmass is so good that I think if we're playing to win, that is a very powerful 1-2 punch. And so I'm going to play to win in my games. And I think if you have a core, it's worth it. Even if you draw it late. I think playing out your Craterizes early is great. Tithe, wonderful spell. And for 1 mana, even if I had my courts out, I played this once in the rounds for 3, literally, and it was still okay. I drew 3 lands for 3 mana. It was not a problem. Warhorse, incredible addition. I run 2 assorted animals, which we'll see soon. Great card for only 2 mana. You can fetch it with assorted animals because it is a beast. It is wonderful. Frontier Settlers, I run 2 of these. Well, I was running 3, but I replaced one of these with my Onyx core. So it's sort of a ramp thing on its own, but a desert. I was worried about deserts. I was worried about facing off against a bunch of red aggro strategies. There weren't as many of those as I thought there would be. 3 Poison Novas. I didn't see enough of these in the tournament, and so Random Fate sort of intervened for me, and I think that kind of hurt me. Random luck of the draw. Sometimes you get it, sometimes you don't. I didn't see enough removal, Earthquakes or Poison Novas, I think, to get me through. Gargantulas. I run 2 of these in the deck. It's the max that you can. Kettletop Leprechaun. 4 of these little fighters. They are fine. I don't know if I love them. They're okay. I wish I had better. I don't know how fellow Archimago players feel. They're not spells, so they don't fill up your yard with spells. Sometimes they draw you a land. They're 2 power beaters. I almost wonder if they should be land surveyors. Yeah, I'm not sure on those. I just wish it was a better option. Border Militias. Wow, I have a love-hate relationship with these. They won me 2 games, flat out. Incredible card. And yet, boy, I I was not able to rely on these at one point, and we'll talk about it soon as we get to the tournament report. I realized that I did not address the fact that Border Militia was great in the whole tournament, except for my match against Witch. And the reason it wasn't great against Witch was because of a singular nightmarish card, Order of the White Wing. I did not have an answer against this card. Nicholas's list ran this card, and it came out in both games, and in both games it just pulverized me. I didn't draw any of my root spiders to disable it from underneath the land, and I didn't draw enough poison novas to try and break through wards early enough, and I wasn't able to cast border militias to try and pierce through the ward effect, and I just could not get through the effect early enough, and it just trounced me. So I have to find an answer against this stupid little 3 power creature, because it absolutely murdered the border militia plan. Any thoughts? Leave them in the comments below. Border militia, incredible card, giveth and it taketh away. Landmass, incredible, but I did not get to utilize the Archimago Plan 1, which was to expand and control the board. It never happened for me in this tournament. I was not able to expand. I was often playing on the back foot, in fact, for most of the tournament. Common Sense did great work the whole time. I was often common sensing for answers, however, because I was playing on the back foot for most of this event. Gift of the Wolf did good work, especially in game 2. I was Gift of the Wolfing a lot of soldier tokens, and in fact, I think that won game 2 for me. My opponent said that my multiple Gift of the Wolves actually put him to death's door a little bit quicker than he was able to find his answers, and had I not done that, I think he would have taken the game. So I was originally running Gift of the Serpent at some point, but I changed my mana base to be more earthy. So yeah, this Root Spider, I would have been so much happier had I drawn Root Spiders. I don't know if I drew a single Root Spider the entire tournament, and I'm sadder for it. They could have been very helpful because they disable minions. They are underneath. And Arjuro Exorcist, I actually drew one in the top 8, and I was able to disable a demon. Who knew that this thing actually did anything upon entry? However, it was too little, too late. because you'll see the picture of what Nicholas drew on turn 1 with his witch. It is literally one of the craziest openings anybody's ever had, probably in a game. Ring of Morgan did incredible work in game 1, and thereafter did nothing. But in game 1, it kept me alive. That game went to time and rounds, and I won on literally turn 5 of extra turns. Torrid Omphalos, never got it out. It did go in the cemetery several times because of cemetery rats, though, so that was fun. Craterize. Somebody craterized me twice in round 3 or round 4, but I never got to craterize anybody else. And that's what this deck is supposed to do. So I guess I'm glad that I made it to the top 8 at all, considering this is one of the deck's major game plans. I did have it in the graveyard once, and I had planned to use it, but I never made it that far. So, yeah, I got to look at it and dream. I put toolboxes back in the deck in part because of the courts. I thought to myself, I was running Silver Bullet. But Silver Bullet, as you might know, is an elite spell. So I thought, well, elite spell costs 1 extra, or maybe it does a damage to me, so I didn't want to risk that. So instead I run this exceptional spell, and then allows me to sacrifice to play a common toolbox. And here is my toolbox options. I have Angry Mob, which allows me to get rid of an elite or unique minion. Hamlet's Ablaze, ordinary or exceptional site destruction. Burning Hands allows me to burn things in different directions. Heat Ray, a lot of things that will kill something that's on death's door, or destroy little creatures with projectiles. Smite, maybe destroy something on death's door. Duel, again, a lot of death's door destruction or artifact removal, undead removal. Yeah, a lot of stuff like that. But yeah, we never really got to that point. The toolboxes I'm a little torn on. I've used them once or twice in the games and never really to great effect. However, Assorted Animals was an absolute all-star. And it makes me think, if I were to retool this deck, I may even not go, I don't know, I'm torn. I want to go Archimago because I want to play stuff out of my cemetery, but I'm also thinking, like, do I go Sorcerer and I just go straight beasts with things like Assorted Animals and War Horses? And I don't know. I'm so conflicted right now. Divine Healings, always incredible. What an incredible card. It's one of the reasons I think you would play Archimago, because being able to gain 7 life. When this happened, it was very powerful, but it did not happen in all games. Some games I never saw these cards, and those games I tended to lose. Cemetery Rats, I put 2 in the deck. 1 to be able to fetch with Assorted Animals, or maybe 2, depending. And usually it would drop at least 1 spell into my cemetery. And it would act often as a blocker. A Burrowed Cemetery Rat saved me in game 2 from being put on death's door. And that's all you need to know about these little fellas. So let's talk about the tournament report briefly. I wrote down some notes. Basically I wrote down life totals, but this will help remind me of what was going on. So game 1, I played against a fellow from Charlotte, North Carolina. There was a whole contingent of Charlotte, North Carolina folks. His name was Lance, and he was on an Archimago list as well. So Lance and I went to time. And as you can see, the life totals just bounced and fluctuated. And at some point, I just stopped keeping track, and we started keeping track with dice. We went all the way to time. At some point, Lance and I went to 45 minutes, and then we went to extra turns. Lance was at 18, and I was on the 5th turn of extra turns. And at that point, I drew off the top of my deck none other than Border Militia. Now, in my hand, I had been holding on to a card which was absolutely stellar and had been stellar like in basically all games all the time. I had been holding on to the combo piece, Onslaught. We had filled out every single board space in the realm. So I had plenty of mana, and I had lots of spaces that were adjacent to Lance. So I border militia'd, and then I border militia'd again out of the yard. I basically put about, I think, 16 or so foot soldier tokens, and I had 2 cemetery rats that were left alive on the board, and then I onslaughted. And I did approximately 24 points of damage to Lance, taking him from 18 to death's door. As I was not on death's door, per the rules of the tournament, I was given the victory. Even though he wasn't dead, I was not on death's door and he was, and so I was awarded the victory. He was a good sport about it. Great dude. So I was awarded the victory. Kudos to Lance for playing a fun game. It was a crazy game, and I was mentally exhausted, as was he, after the match. And that's what we get for playing Archimago. But that was my first experience with playing Archimago in any kind of competitive setting, and I immediately regretted all my life decisions. So we went to game 2, and I was playing against Simon. Simon was also from Charlotte. I believe Simon was from the same Charlotte area sort of group. And Charlotte, for those of you who don't know, is like 2 hours away. So these guys drove a while to play in this tournament, which cost like $20. And Simon was on Harbinger. Simon got all the way in like number 1, which was over here close to my space. He got a number 20, which was all the way over here with his random rolls. And then I think he got one over here that was like number 16 or something. So, my light went out. Sorry, guys. Let me try and get another lamp over here. So this match was fun. It was back and forth. He was able to like cast some early minions. I got some poison novas. We both got on death's door at some point, but he got on death's door 1 turn earlier than I did, and this was the difference maker. He got me down to 1, and the cemetery rat burrowed beneath the space where I knew he was going to attack me from was the singular saving grace. So, and then what was able to get the victory for me was again Onslaught. I was able to play an Arguro Exorcist out of my hand, Onslaught from a space that I owned, and have it attack him straight away. Otherwise, he would have gotten me. Cool dude. Happy to play Simon. Next game was against Nicholas. And I have Matt here. I think it was against Nicholas. Yeah, it was against Nicholas. We played Witch. Nicholas was on Witch. This game did not go well for me. So Nicholas, super cool guy from Brevard, North Carolina. Flesh and Blood player normally, but also plays a lot of Sorcery. And all I can say about the match is that Nicholas runs an Earth, Fire, Witch list that I'm super keen to talk to him about. He got to second place. He got to the finals, and he said he played kind of poorly in the finals, unfortunately. Otherwise, he feels like he could have done better and potentially won. So I'm curious to hear how that went because I didn't get to watch it. But he plays sort of a land destruction-y sort of build. So I'm very curious to hear because, boy, it comes out hard, it comes out fast, and it really takes you down. And he plays some of the courts in addition to the Witch's tax ability. And the way he plays it, if he plays it smart, and he usually does, he's able to really kind of limit anything you can do and just takes you out with these like sort of, you know, the normal minions, Quarrelsome Kobolds, and all these little quick fighty dudes, and you just get beaten up on, and it's really hard to combat because some of your lands are getting destroyed and sinkholed and stuff like that. It's aggressive. It's a fun list to see happen, but it's usually against somebody else. The next game, the fourth game I played against was Matt. also a competitive Flesh and Blood player who has not been playing Sorcery for long, who's been playing, to add insult to injury to me, I guess. Matt was playing Sorcerer, and I thought I was doing pretty well. However, I could not get a read on what he was doing. He seemed like he was playing Autumn Unicorns and just kind of like dudes, Gargantulas. We were casting infiltrates on each other. We were mirroring each other in a lot of ways. And I should have taken that as a hint, I suppose. And what happened is I didn't even think to myself what was going on. I didn't know how to read it. I knew he was getting a little bit more card advantage than me. And he had Nomphalos, and I put some resources forth to try and get rid of that, and it took me a while to do that. And by the time that happened, he managed to get enough mana to cast Craterize, and then Craterize me again, literally the next turn, and it was just done before I could even register what had happened. So the game was over really quick. I couldn't do much about it, but I lucked out because of the tiebreakers. They both of these guys made it into the top 8, Nicholas and Matt. And in between each round, I wanted to talk a little bit. And so I had a super fun time. All these guys, super cool, had a great time. Tokyo Toy Box, in between each round, was giving away stuff. So I won this mat in a drawing. But not only that, everybody got a sweet sort of, I got to hide something here. Everybody got a pack that we were all given. And so I opened up my pack. Here's what I got out of it. Got a Riptide, Skirmishers of Moo, got a sweet Disenchant foil. Yeah, nice. And my rare in the pack was Bull Demons of Doom. So we got a nice beta pack. So everybody got a pack, but we also got a promo. Now everybody got the promo, which was this Flaming Skull, but some people got an extra special promo that was left over, I think, from previous event. And I was super stoked to be able to trade for one of those. I traded my Flaming Skull straight for this one. Yeah, Apprentice Wizard. If you know me, I love kitty cats. And I was very sad that I'd kind of missed out on these. So this made the event for me, honestly. Like between the playmat, winning one of these, and a lot of people won playmats. It wasn't just me. Like I think Tokyo Toy Box gave out maybe 7 or 8 playmats, and some were large. Like somebody got a Sea of Ash big 2-player playmat, and maybe there was one other big 2-player playmat. Really cool. But I was stoked to get an Apprentice Wizard. That was really cool. Not only that, for making top 8, they gave me $30 in store credit in the form of insane doubloons. So that was cool. And, of course, I dropped it on the floor, which was great considering, but I think with every kind of Cornerstone event, this happens, but it felt special to me. I got the Den of Evil special art promo. Come through this side, I guess, yeah. By Kyle Calazans. It's the non-foil version, but still very cool. Art. So overall, quite the haul, right? Extra pack, an Apprentice Wizard, $30 store credit. And yeah, it was a $20 entry fee, but had a good time. Performed pretty well. I mean, like I thought in that morning, I was like, I might lose all of my games. And it turned out I didn't. I won some, I lost some, I learned lessons, and yeah, I had some big victories, like hitting for 24 with Onslaught Border Militia. Border Militia was like a wild and crazy swing. Yeah, so what I would say to wrap all of this up is that 1, Tokyo Toy Box did a great job. 2, I really want to interview Nicholas about his witch list. One, he has the awesome Frank Frazetta art for his witch, which I'll show the art here again of what he did to me in the top 8. This is his opening right here. It's nuts. How was I supposed to overcome this? I don't know. All you can do is laugh if you see this on turn 2. And he was on the play because he was the higher ranked player. All you can do is laugh if you see this. But I really want to interview him about his witch list because it's really powerful. Like, I never really felt like I had a good grasp. Like, even when I got like an Imperial Road going and I started to like stabilize a little bit, like it just slipped away really quickly. So want to hear his stories about how things went after he beat me, and what happened to him in the finals, and what he's thinking about for Avatar of the Realm and stuff going forward. So hoping to bring that content to you guys, and about an Avatar that I think has been underestimated, because I think Witch is one of the coolest avatars around. I love Witch. So tell me what you guys think in the comments. Are you going to any Cornerstone events near you? Do you have any hesitation about going to Cornerstone events? I want to give a shout out to one of the users who I think was in Franklin, Tennessee. I'm not for sure. There was somebody there at the tournament who commented on one of my YouTube videos earlier and was like, "Hey, are you Rule Zero?" And I apologize, I didn't get to talk more to you because I was like in the middle of like, my brain was so overloaded at that moment, trying to like shuffle my cards and play and try to like not die. So I apologize we didn't get to spend more time together, but thank you so much for coming out to the event and being like, "Hey, yeah, thanks for like, taking my advice and coming out to play. Hope you had a good time." So anyway, thanks for listening to this tournament report. I know it was a little disjointed, but I would highly recommend going out and playing if you can near you. And see you all later, hopefully with another interview with Nicholas. Adios.